It wasn't long until members of QAnon dropped their masks and started going after gay people. I mean, we all kind of saw this coming. But here it is. At a recent gathering of Trump supporters in Oregon, a man with a megaphone accused LGBTQ people of normalizing child sexual assault and suggested that politicians who support gay rights and trans rights should be shot in the street. It's very disturbing. Take a look.
Their own state. And then we have said, oh, this LGBT agenda, pedophilia is next. And they told us we were crazy. They told us we were homophobic. But the God's honest truth is, this pedophilia agenda is being normalized. It is being pushed forward. And I'm a God-fearing man, but I think these Democratic leaders who allow this to happen need to be shot dead in the street.
Cheers and applause. You saw. Cheers and applause for a call to violence against people. Jeez. Look, QAnon claims to be against child trafficking, abuse, and pedophilia, right? That's something that we're all against. But understand, this man, this is who they really are, okay? This has always been used as a front, right? Protecting children. It's being used as a front to attack gay, bi, trans, non-gender binary people. Always at the heart of it, it's always hate. It's always hate. And also, of course, it's being used in politics, in a political context, in order to attack liberals, progressives, Democrats, right? Notice how, of course, they never discussed the allegations against Roy Moore, who, allegedly molested young women, or Republican Dennis Hastert, or Donald Trump and his numerous, not only rape allegations, but also private parties with Jeffrey Epstein, where there was a girl that was allegedly not of legal age. And so, private party, okay? So they also notice how they never go after the Catholic Church and their issues with pedophile priests. It's always the liberals, the Democrats, the gays, and the trans people, right? And it's because, again, this is who they are. This is who they are. Look, their conspiracies get people hurt, okay? And look, they get trans people hurt, right? Despite being trans people being constantly attacked, sexually assaulted, murdered in the streets at incredibly high levels. This just feeds into that hatred, that feeds into these attacks. And so, again, people do get hurt. For example, back in 2016, Washington, D.C. police arrested a 28-year-old man, Edgar Madison Welch. Why? Because he believed, like millions of other people, as we've discovered, that there is quote-unquote Pizzagate, right? That there's this conspiracy where, people in positions about Hillary Clinton, right, is running a pedophile ring out of a basement of a pizza shop. So this man, Welch, goes into a pizzeria, right? It's a business owned by a gay owner, James Alefantis. He went into this pizza shop with an assault rifle and fired. Almost killed somebody. Could have killed somebody. And Welch believed, thanks to this nonsense, that the basement of this pizzeria was filled with exploited children. Except there were no children. There wasn't even a basement. I remember talking about this. And yet, these conspiracies continue to run rampant. And here's the thing. You may have seen this happen in your own life, right? Where you've got like normie friends, people who are not really all that involved in politics. Could be a friend from high school, could be an aunt or an uncle, right? And they start sharing these hashtags, right? Sharing these, these memes and things, right? And some of them are like, hashtag save the children. No, of course, everybody wants to save the children, right? But QAnon co-opts these things in order to capture those normies. So now your apolitical friend, coworker, family member, whatever, because obviously everybody wants to save the children, they start sharing this stuff, and slowly but surely they continue to get fed by algorithms, mainly on Facebook, but it's also on YouTube, all over on social media. They slowly get fed bullshit under the guise of, oh, no, we're exposing the truth in order to save the children, right? That truth to them ends up, being, let's go after Democratic politicians, right? Let's tie them to child abuse. Again, Hillary Clinton's the best example, and I'm no Hillary fan. You guys know this. But the things that they spread about her, well, there's no shred of proof, right? Because it's not true. But they can continue to feed it, continue to push it and push it and push it. And pretty soon, your normie friend is now posting about gay pedo Democrats that are harvesting adrenochrome from the fears of little children, using it to get high in order to enact the one world order and Agenda 21 that's going to put us all in hobbit homes. No, it's insane. And that, of course, only voting for Donald Trump is the way that's going to stop it. Complete and utter insanity. You don't think Donald Trump knows this? Of course he knows this. He doesn't care because it helps him. It helps him politically, helps him electorally. And so it helps him to continue to push this modern day satanic panic. And look, somebody's going to get hurt. And people, I believe, already have. And the supreme irony about all of this is that children who are actually being trafficked are not being helped by any of this. Can you show me one example of the Trump administration, or just even spreading these hashtags all over social media, has helped one child escape trafficking? You can't. You can't, because it hasn't happened. No children are being saved from this abuse by these internet activists, right, on the Q side, okay? They're really just taking resources and time and attention away from these actual organizations that are really fighting against trafficking. It's taking away resources. And here's the sickest part. It's being, the whole thing is just a front to weaponize the suffering of children for just political gain. And that's it. And they've had a lot of success about this, right? The Republican Party now has a myriad of QAnon supporters who have won their primaries and who could be going to Congress. They might be in the levers of power themselves. Is it any wonder why the Lincoln Project and Bush-era neocons have decided it's time to take over the Democratic Party? Why? Because the Republican Party has become the party of neo-fascist and conspiracy theorists, specifically QAnon. They are the QAnon party now. And so, unfortunately, I don't see a way to stop this. I don't see a way where we can fight against this massive disinformation other than, of course, trying the best that we can to put out the truth. But unfortunately, our biggest enemy is also our biggest asset, and that's social media. This is spread like wildfire through both YouTube as well as Facebook, and those are the only ways, the only avenues that we can use to fight back against it and actually protect real victims of trafficking and to stop them from being hurt and trafficked as well. And so all we can do is continue to spread the truth and talk about what's really going on. But as far as this is concerned, this has always been a front for hate. QAnon is just like all the other supposed moral people, moral groups, that really their biggest targets have always been those who are most disadvantaged and disenfranchised.